What's going on, Charger fans, far and wide, wherever you may be, however you may be watching? Welcome to Charger Syndicate game recap of whatever that was today. If this is your first time here up onto the channel on Charger Syndicate, I encourage every single one of you guys. We work so hard to build this channel up all together, and we want to get this channel up to 1K. I encourage all of you guys to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, keep you up to date on future and past live streams, videos, and more of Charger Syndicate. Ken, Lightning, bolt up, everybody. What's going on? I'm just really trying to find the words. What the hell happened today? But I think Charger fans everywhere, I think you kind of already know. You kind of already have an idea. This was bad. This was bad on all sort of levels. It really was. The team in the first half was certainly not the team in the second half. Second half, we disappeared. So, I'm disappointed, but I'm also still trying to find the spirits to be patient with all this. And I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The way that I could sum up this game for the Chargers against the Buccaneers today, bolt outlaw, bolt up, man. I don't know what happened. Our O-line just was not executing. Everything went wrong offensively and defensively. And I think right now, with the way it stands and the way that it looks right now, we are so deficient on a bunch of spots right now. And you guys may think I'm pretty crazy for saying this. And again, take it however that you will. But I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from. But just to kind of give an idea, we're not ready. We're not ready. I'll give it to you plain and simple. Yes, we overachieved with our win-loss record. We've overachieved. We got 8 wins. Awesome. And I don't know what the schedule is going to look like the next 3 weeks, because we have Denver this Thursday night at home, and then we have the Patriots, and then we have the Raiders. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting road. But yeah, this game, it sucked. We're now 3-1 against the NFC South, and the one opponent that we couldn't beat is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you know what? I give them credit. I give them their flowers. Baker Mayfield is badass. Like, he may have thrown one pick, but he cooked us. Mike Evans cooked us. The run game cooked us. Like, everybody, like, they cooked us. What am I to say? It sucks. And the way that I will try to describe this is, look at our roster. Like, look at it. We have practically the same guys from last year's roster, sprinkle in with a couple of other players there, and it's much better than what last season gave us as a 5-12 team. Much, much better. I was at the game. We got our ass kicked. Manuel, bolts up, man. Yeah, we certainly got our asses kicked, man. we've been overachieving all year. We almost forgot we're in a rebuilding year. Trust the process. We will make the playoffs and are a draft and offseason away from making noise in the playoffs. And I agree with that. And here's the thing, because, and I think this is kind of coming clear and it's coming true right now with as far as where we stand as a team. Thank God we got a coach. Okay. Thank God that we don't have just a coach, but we have a culture setting coach in Jim Harbaugh. Like he is absolutely a slam dunk for us because he got this team to believe. He got this team to believe. And sure enough, with as talently deficient that we are, both offense and defensively, we overachieved. And I'm proud. I'm proud of what this team looked like from top to bottom with this. But we still have ways to go. We do. Hey, Jake, sorry about your guys' game. Short week. I was rooting for you guys. Thanks, Jason. Bolt up, man. Dang, Jake, it's been a while since we got a beatdown like this. We've got to put this game behind them tomorrow. Absolutely, Allen. Bolt up to you. Keenan Allen would have been great with McConkey. And you know what's funny about that is that it could have been. It could have been great. But Keenan Allen made the personal decision he didn't want to take a pay cut. And look at where it's gotten the receiving core. I understand it with Mike Williams. I really do. Because I'm not going to spend $20 million on a receiver who's constantly getting hurt every single year. He's getting hurt every year. So it was right for us to cut him and to save the money on the cap. And at the same time, Keenan Allen, he chose not to take a pay cut. So the only thing that we did was trade him to Chicago. And look what's happening over there in Chicago. Caleb Williams is he's a talented quarterback who possibly will have a bright future as long as they get the head coach right. But Keenan made that decision. And so, and now he wants to come back. But you know what? You missed out on the potential of being a part of something special with Jim Harbaugh. And that's on him. You could tell Harbaugh ain't cool with Bosa anymore. He will be a movable player. And you know what's funny, Bolt, is we've been talking about this all season long. Joey Bosa, when I said it before the season started, was I thought he was going to be the one to be traded. I was all on the trade Joey Bosa train from the start, from like right at last season. I really was. And because he's so much of an injury liability, and at the same time, he's underperforming. Why should I be spending top dollar money on somebody who's getting outplayed by a 33-year-old in Khalil Mack, going to be 34? You're 29 years old. You are practically my age. Like, and I think a lot of it has to deal with the injury history with Joey Bosa. That it's the reasons that he's not that talented anymore. I think he's kind of sluggish. I think he's kind of gotten slow. And I think at the same time, he just doesn't have the push anymore. And that's why I think I'm okay with letting him go, because look at Thule. You know what I mean? Look at Thule. We have a promising future edge rusher. And at the same time, what's to say we don't go and draft another one? It's a defensive heavy draft this year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. And we could save money and we could go and we could spend the money on different spots. Yeah, and look at the crappy year he's had. So glad he's gone. Jake, I was at the game, brother. Pablo, bolt up to you, bro. Hell no, Chicago can keep him. I was pissed we didn't cut and trade Joey Bosa last year. So was I, Alan. It was ridiculous, bro. It really was. And so Bosa is always injured. He retired and didn't tell anyone. Well, that's the thing, man. I'm already kind of done with Joey Bosa. I'm already done. And this is kind of like, why are we wasting our time? appreciate. I was very surprised at when the start of the offseason in the year. I did not think that Keenan Allen was going to be the one to refuse to take a pay cut, but I understood it why, because he does put up pretty good numbers, but he's not the reason that builds Justin Herbert. He's not. He makes it simplified for Justin Herbert because you need a receiver that has separation. Look at a lot of the receivers outside of Ladd McConkey. The struggle with our receiving core right now is they have no separation. They have none, which makes it harder for Justin to even throw the ball. And you could teeter-totter on this, however, that like the receiving core is not that highly talented, or Greg Roman is just so one-track minded that he's all about fixating up on the run, however you guys want to break it down. But none of these receivers outside of Ladd McConkey can separate. None of them. And that's what's difficult. That's what puts us in position to where we can't even play. So once Keenan Allen got traded, I was just like, wow. Because I was hoping, I didn't think this year that this would have been the year that we traded away Keenan Allen and like we said our goodbyes, and thanks for the memories. I thought we would have had him just this year and then we would have figured it out after that. Like, I'm being for real about it. Because he's an all-time Charger. Keenan Allen has broken so many records as a receiver alone, which is where I'm like, I think this, like, if we kept him for this year, he would help guys like Ladd McConkey. He would then give more opportunities for Quentin Johnston. And listen, I give props to Quentin Johnston. 8 receiving touchdowns compared to what last year gave us. That's a heck of an improvement. So I am very happy with how he looked this year. He's put in the work. He looks better. And look, he's only 23 years old. He's going to learn. This year, so let me just show you what a vast improvement looks like from Quentin Johnston. Okay, and everybody was all on, oh, he's a bust train. But this is what it was last year. He had 17 games, 38 catches, 67 targets, right? And he had 2 touchdown receptions. Couldn't find his groove. Couldn't find it. This year, he's got, they'll put it in, but this is 12 games now. And he's added 5 more catches with at least 10 targets, 45 yards, and a receiving touchdown today against the Bucs. So when you put that together, he would have at least 34 catches, closest to what he had last year in 17 games. And then already up there to almost 500 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. What a job by Quentin Johnston this year. What a job. I think that is such great improvement. And so that's why I'm like, we are building with what we have with house money, which is so impressive. But we are not that talented. I can tell you that right now. The Gus is a bust. At this point, we need to get a guard at the first round. Gerardo bolt up. And you know what? I could see that happening as well. But there's a multitude of things wrong. There is. And I just think right now, like, I'm now having to go back and forth in whether or not, if honestly this team should even think about going to the playoffs. And look, I might get backlash. I might. But I just am like, I would rather us be able to go through this phase right now, knowing that we overachieved this year from what the expectations that was given to us. and then go next year into the offseason and into the draft, and then in hopes that we would have a much bigger, better jump next year. Okay? And because my only worrisome is that we go into the playoffs, right, as a 7th seed, and look who we have to face, either Kansas City or Buffalo. You think after what I saw for Buffalo's performance today that I want us to face Buffalo with Josh Allen? Dear God, no. We probably would be picked apart. And if it was Kansas City, I mean, you guys already know exactly how we'd feel about that. Going against Kansas City for a third time, hoping that it's 3 times the charm. But Kansas City's offense is going to be healthy. So I don't know, you guys. I'm in a state of unknown to this point, but this right here is where you really see the real identities of teams. Always in the back half of the season. It just happens. Everybody goes through it. Yeah. Well, but here and that's the thing is, Alan, is like if we get to the 6th seed, then we got to play Pittsburgh, which is a coin flip. And yeah, the Bills would absolutely tear us apart. Josh Allen and everybody else can run the football efficiently after what you just saw from Baker Mayfield and Bucky Irving and with Rachaad White. They tore us apart with 200 rushing yards against our defense. About almost over 500 total yards. Could you imagine? Buffalo would tear us apart. Guard and a new center. I agree. And you know what? I get that too. It would be a coin flip against Pittsburgh. And you know what though? I think the sources of it is that I think TJ Watt, he had an injury or so. But yeah. Is it me or does Darius Davis hasn't been returning the kicks with max effort? He used to go for it. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, because with Darius Davis, I mean, I wouldn't jump ship on it only because that we've had special teams adjustments from the rules from the NFL. So that's why I'm not going to jump on it that quickly. But I do see that there's a bit of that, and I don't know what it may be. And hopefully it does get adjusted. But I have seen in some spurts that Darius Davis does still have a little more of that juice to run. And that's why I'm like, I think with all the adjustments and everything in the special teams spots now for the NFL, and every team's going through that. So I would not jump ship on it right now, but I have seen it. I have seen Darius Davis play. We need JK back. Yes, we do. 32 rushing yards, dude, was not great. We could not move the needle on our run game. 2.9 yards a carry from Gus Edwards and 8 carries for 23 yards. That whole front line shut us down. Shut us down massively. Yeah, he looks like he may be in a slump, but I'm hoping for a bounce back. I really am hoping for a bounce back. His explosiveness in the run game made a difference how we played ball. Yeah. Well, to tell you the truth, the Bills are going to beat everyone's ass until the championship game, and they will. They probably will. I still love Davis, but he just looks like he is in a slump, and it may be. Is it just me, or it didn't look like we made no, we didn't make anything. We didn't make any adjustments at all. We got shut out in the entire second half. No points, nothing. So that just told you that was the most horrifying second half performance I've ever seen from this team this year. It was god awful. It was bad. So I'm just going to bring up I'm going to bring up our stats today and just basically show you a lot of the breakdowns of what needs to be adjusted and what happened to us today. So, as of what we saw from this ball game, the Buccaneers completely destroyed us. Like, it looked like a very competitive game from the first half, and then we just disappeared, nowhere to be found in the second half. Baker Mayfield, 22 of 27 with 288 passing yards, 4 tutties, 1 pick, 135 rating. And he only got sacked 1 time. Whereas for Justin Herbert was 21 of 33, 195 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and was sacked 3 times with a rating of 87. Like, that's the difference maker. Honestly, both. I really hope so. Because I've had this reservation with Greg Roman for the entirety of the season, man. For real. And so that's my one thing. Is like, it just reminds me so much that the offensive coordinator that really helped us out when we needed it was Shane Steichen. But unfortunately, we couldn't handle it. So I am just I'm in awe. I am in awe right now. So the way that I would describe this, to kind of go through like with the stats just to kind of get this up here, but look at this. I mean, 283 passing yards and then 223 rushing yards by Tampa's rushing all the way together. 15 carries, 117 yards with no rushing touchdown from Bucky Irving. Rashad White, 15 carries, 64 yards. Baker Mayfield with 2 runs for 25 yards. And Sean Tucker with 7 with 17. Holy hell. They were running all over us. They were running all over us. Absolutely just dismantled that defensive line of ours. And then you look at exactly us, 32 rushing yards altogether as a team. 8 carries, 23 yards, no rushing touchdown from Gus Edwards, 3 carries and 9 yards from Kaimani Vidal. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, I love Bucky Irving. That kid is badass on the ground. That kid is badass. And so when you look at the receiving core as well, Mike Evans destroyed us. 9 carries, 159 receiving yards with 2 receiving touchdowns and 11 targets. Jalen McMillan, the rookie from Washington, 5 carries, 75 yards, 1 receiving touchdown and 6 targets. Rashad White had 2 catches for 17 yards and a receiving touchdown. I mean, good God. At least our receiving core, when it came to this, I will tell you who has stepped up, and that's Stone Smart. He had a very good performance against the Chiefs in that second half. So Stone Smart looked pretty damn good. Like, he looked good. Ladd McConkey, 5 catches, 58 yards, a receiving touchdown and 7 targets. Stone Smart with 5 catches, 50 yards, no score on 6 targets. And Quinn Johnston with 5 catches, 45 yards, receiving touchdown on 10 targets. So Quinn Johnston caught half the targets that were thrown to him. So it's just we're not that offensively talented. And that's what's the difference maker. Now, our defense did play hard in the first half to the point where Tarheeb still, what a steal of a draft pick in the 5th round. 4th interception this season. The kid has more than achieved. He looks fantastic. And at the same time, we got a fumble recovery that Elijah Molden got back. And Molden has been quite a steal for us as well. But this was our defense here today. 77 tackles, 48 solos, 1 sack, 4 tackles for losses, and 3 passes defended. And the Bucs defense shut us down on the run game, and they sacked Herbert 3 times. 48 total tackles, 35 solos, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for losses, and 2 passes defended. And this is a young defense, too. This is a very young, rebuilt defense that's got a lot of speed, and they can get after the quarterback. And then to look at the team stats from here, I mean, the Bucs controlled the whole time of possession, 36 minutes, 48 seconds to 23-12. They destroyed us on all levels. 24 first downs over 14, 506 total yards over 206. And when it comes to penalties, they had more than us with 8 of them for 83 yards, 7 for 60. And their red zone trip, they were 1 for 4 and we were 2 for 3. That was bad. I get it. We don't face them a ton. Okay, that's an NFC team. But still, that was bad. Get into the comments from here. Greg Roman out. I really hope so, because I was scared of the idea of having Greg Roman, because he just fixates so much into the run game that he doesn't give any crap about passing. Like, he doesn't. And it's like, I feel so bad because Justin Herbert once again has to go through another offensive coordinator, and who else could they possibly pick up? Our interior O-line couldn't block anyone if their life depended on it. Honestly, yeah, our interior O-line got exposed today. Based on their history, is anyone surprised that JK is hurt and Edwards has been hurt? Ashton Jeanty would be awesome. We need a young back. I miss the Tomlinson days. I absolutely hated it when Jim said that Roman was going to be our OC. The games passed up him. Yeah, it has. Like, this is not the same old, like, 1970s, 1980s football to where you have to rely on so much of the run game, even because here's the thing. Our run game is not like Philly. Our run game is not like Baltimore, and our run game is certainly not like Buffalo's, and it's not like Green Bay's. It's not. We don't have that talented running back like a Josh Jacobs or a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley. If we did, we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't. I don't think he might stick around. Bolts got gutted and left on like roadkill. Jeanty will be long gone by the time we pick. Yeah. And the Chargers interior O-line is bad. A blast to the future would be awesome. Roman hire. Yeah, LOL. Yeah, Alec, Bolt up, man. Appreciate you coming by. I know you're coming in and trolling us right now, and I get it. I get it. I'll take Cam Scatabo. Oh, I would too. Cam looks great over there in Arizona State. I'd be down for that. If we can't get someone like Jeanty, the guys that I've looked at would either be Amorian Hampton from North Carolina or Cam Scatabo at Arizona State. And honestly, I would be very comfortable with taking Cam. That's just me. Yeah, but Justin missed Quinn Johnston on a few of them, though. Yeah. No, he did. He missed on a few of those throws. And that's where I know that there's accountability for Justin Herbert as well. I still believe we can win a playoff game. We just need a statement win against the Broncos. I know Harbaugh isn't happy with the team effort and production today. Our front seven on defense didn't pressure Baker like they should have. Yeah, they didn't. They did not get a whole lot of pressures on Baker Mayfield. And so that was the difference maker. Their offensive line did exactly the job. opened up lanes for the run game for Bucky Irving and for Rachaad White to be explosive. And they've made pass protection for Baker Mayfield. But Baker also, he's got receivers that have separation. They got a rookie in Jalen McMillan who literally has separation, and he had a great game. Mike Evans, who's been the best at this game for years, he killed us. And then at the same time, they also have a very good tight end in Cade Otton, who I like. So they've got guys. They've got them. Bosa ain't nothing. Really, we don't have a run game. We passed on several great running backs in the offseason. Yeah, we did. We did. We should have just gave Barkley the $12 million he wanted when he was a free agent, him or Josh Jacobs. And you know what's funny is with those running backs in particular, we probably could have afforded it. We could have afforded a Josh Jacobs. We could have afforded like a Derrick Henry who literally took $8 million. Like we could. So I just am like, we just got outplayed. We got outplayed. Simple as that. I mean, I can't begin to tell you even more, just, breaking it down, what this looked like. So, but we have our press conference after this game today. So I'm going to put it up here. I won't show the screen, but just the audio up on this, just to kind of hear what both Justin and what Jim Harbaugh had to say following this loss. So, but yeah, I just think there's a multitude of things that need to be fixed up today. And however that we need to fix this up just needs to happen. It just really needs to happen. So, but here we go. Here was Jim Harbaugh at the end of this game in the press conference.
My vantage point is, this is life. It's football. We've seen the good times, and today we're looking at staring adversity, and it's how we respond. That's where my mind is on to, getting ready for this.
Calvin,
this
bolt
game.
up, man. Appreciate you for coming on by.
What it was,
guys, like it up. We only got 16
and,
people right now. We had 17.
we
we got 6 likes right now.
We didn't
tap
didn't
up
play
the
well
likes,
enough,
guys.
coach well
like
enough.
them feet. Let's get this.
Let's
get this channel up to 1K here.
Thorough.
Appreciate all of your guys' love and support for the channel here. And you guys can catch me on Roundtable Sports Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, guys.
Only 32 yards rushing. What do you look to in the future? Could we see more Hassan Haskins? Could we see more other backs maybe into the fold to get the rushing attack back where it was the first part of the season?
Yeah, it's and like I said, every it's a response now. I mean, it's not going to go through each play or each phase. I mean, we understand what took place and what our response is going to have to be.
Coach, going back to the second quarter, the defense.
Sergio Lopez.
Red zone stop.
Bolt up. Appreciate you, man.
Etc.
Yes, it does.
Difference.
It does. I'll explain about that later.
Defensively.
Yeah, we in all phases we didn't get the job done, and I put that on myself, on coaching, on playing. There's not one place we could point to and say we were good enough.
Coach, you had a very short week.
You had 4th and 5 in the second quarter at their 41-yard line, opted to punt there. What was the thought process?
Yeah, I mean it would have been a 50-yard field goal or 60-yard field goal, or go for it. Our defense had two good stops, turned the ball over twice. Had visioned putting them down in close and being able to get the ball back.
When you have a game like this in a very short week, how do you sort of mentally just get back to where you were before?
Yeah, well, right now, I mean, it starts this recovery right now that our players are doing, and it involves the response.
How'd you feel like Justin was moving on the ankle today?
Yeah, I felt he was limited some to it, and he did anything and everything in his power to get it done. We just didn't get it done. Didn't have enough.
Why do you think your offense hasn't been able to put together a complete performance this season?
I'm really not going to speculate on that right now. I mean, it's as I said, I just all phases. It wasn't good enough today. And put that on the coaching.
Yep.
And on us all. I mean, we're all owning it.
Coach, any concern with the secondary? Mike Evans he's a Hall of Famer, he's all-time great, but huge game for him today. Any concern with the secondary moving forward, facing some more upper echelon receivers as the season goes on?
Yeah, just the response is a response for all these, all the different positions. There's nobody that, walking out of here, you're facing adversity, and it's how you respond to it.
Justin, the coach basically said that you.
So ultimately, this is why I love it about Jim Harbaugh is Harbaugh will vouch for his players as a leader should, as any head coach should, because ultimately it starts from the top. Didn't coach the right game. They got outplayed. They got outcoached. And so that's the thing. You're not going to pin a blame on anybody other than particularly like we got outcoached. We got outplayed. Baker Mayfield literally played us like a fiddle today. Yeah, Mike Evans beats veterans. Yeah, he does. We didn't have the money for Barkley. Oh yeah, no, we didn't. And it clearly showed. Like we did not have the money at all for Saquon Barkley. We just didn't. And he and he's going off this year with Philadelphia. And good for him. Because this is what happens when you get a better offensive line for someone like Saquon Barkley. And not only is it that he's tearing up the rushing, but he also tears up the small check plays. He tears them up. So and that's what's been a difference maker for what they are. It's a huge difference maker. So let me check let me see draft picks for 2025. Let me see. Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, we got a lot. We actually have a lot of them. I think when I checked, we have a first, second, third, fourths, 3. We have 2 fifths, 3 sixes. Okay, so we have a total of 8 picks in the 25 NFL draft. So we have a first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth, 2 sixes. We got the one from New England and the 7th round from Cleveland. So, and we could end up with more, depending on it. We could end up with more. But going through the comments before we get to Justin Herbert and his what he has to say in the press conference today, Broncos are a different team. They are playing with heart. They are wanting to win. Our Chargers are looking pretty soft. They aren't playing with fire. They look tired, thinking that early bye is. Oh, of course. And usually with the early bye, man, it's crazy. It does suck. That's why I usually don't like the early buys. I like them when they're either in the middle of the pack or they're late buys, because that way it gives us time to get ourselves corrected, get ourselves enough rest, and then we were ready for the playoffs. That's what I like about it. Ortiz made plenty of cap space. Yes, he did. We definitely could have afforded Barkley if we got rid of Bosa. Yeah, he doesn't want to open that up yet until he actually sees what we've got right now. Does this loss confirm that we need receiver over offensive line this season, Higgins over Trey Smith? Honestly, we need both. We need an interior offensive line. We need a center. We need a guard. We need receivers. We need a tight end. We need a running back, and we probably need an interior D line. There's a multitude of things that we need. But we'll be in good shape because of our cap space, and we'll be in good shape because of our draft. Our draft capital is really good. At least Harbaugh blames himself instead of his players, and that's what you got to do as a leader. Like you take one for the team. And that's what's different about Jim Harbaugh than what we were when we had Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley didn't know how to take accountability for a lot of it. And a lot of that was all on him with a lot of the mistakes. So that's the difference. When a game goes wrong, Jim's going to take accountability for it. And he'll vouch for his players. And we'll find ways to correct it and fix it. But we know this was terrible. Dicker has been great. Let him kick 60 yards. Yeah, Cameron Dicker, we found our kicker. That's the one thing is he's having a great year, had a Pro Bowl last year, and he's having yet again another one. Could we trade Bosa for a 3rd or 4th round pick? It's useless to keep him the rest of the year. We need all the draft capital we can get. So here's my thing. I do see us trading Joey Bosa, but to be honest with you, I think he'd be more for a 4th round pick with the way that it looks because of injury history and all the rest of it. So, yeah, we have 8 picks right now as it stands, Bolt. Jim sounds like he's souring on Roman, and he should. He should. Kind of piggybacking off your answer right now, I agree. Higgins, Ladd, QJ, and Stone Smart would be a decent group for next year if we are able to make that happen over trying to improve the offensive line. 5th game this year with our offense getting shut out in the second half. That's wild to me. Greg Roman needs to go. Our D also needs to play less zone, especially on 3rd down. Absolutely. That's why I said, man, we cannot afford to be conservative in the worst times. And that's what Greg Roman, that's what I feared about, is we would be so conservative the worst time when he has to, when he's trying to make the run game work, it's not working. Stop continuously running the ball when you know that we are not that talented on the run game. 32 yards. What are we doing? We getting a running back in the draft? I do believe we should. Because it would be honestly a running back by committee type group because Kaimani Vidal, and like I've been saying, is that I've seen his videos at Troy. He's a pass catching running back. He's meant to be the running back that would be the replacement for Austin Eckler. I don't see him as an everyday back. And you can see how limited that he is. But he can be a force to be reckoned with when you have him in some of those checkdowns and bootlegs. I like it. Staley would have thrown our players under the bus in this game. Of course he would. And they would have turned their back on him. Staley was the worst ever at player development. He ruined Pipkins and Zion. Yeah, he did. So to finish this off, to kind of get this over with, here was Justin Herbert at the end of this game.
You have to just respond. What does your process look like to do that, especially on a short week?
Yeah, exactly what I said. It's up to us to respond, and definitely not the way we wanted to play today. And it's all about, what we can learn from this one and move on because, we got beat today and, we got a very important game coming up on Thursday and we have to be at our best for it.
I would say on 3rd down and 3rd down is really a big focus for you. What do you think was some of the problems on 3rd down keeping drives going?
Yeah, it's tough to put up points, when we're 0-6 on 3rd down. So we definitely have to be better at that. Whether that's communication, just being on the same page. We didn't execute the way we needed to today, especially on 3rd down.
Last chance,
Just
bolt
what's going on
up.
with the running
Appreciate
game? guys
you.
are running the ball effectively.
Appreciate you for coming
First
on
half of
by.
the year, last 4 games or so, you've been struggling a little bit more with what's going on.
Yep, you said it right there. We got to do a better job as an offense, and executing on third down, scoring points in the red zone, and limiting those turnovers, especially.
How important is an effective running game in terms of setting up those slightly easier third downs, like down distance wise?
Yeah, it's always best to be third and short and third and manageable. I thought we did a good job of putting ourselves in those positions. We just didn't execute on third down, and we had our chances, our opportunities, and we got to do a better job as an offense and be able to execute on and especially convert on those third downs.
How was your mobility on the thing?
It was all right. I mean, it's getting better, and obviously not to where I'd like to be, but we'll continue to do treatment and get everything right so that we'll be ready to go on Thursday.
How does the short week affect that?
Just maximize the time. It's obviously a short week, not a whole lot of time, but you do everything you can and sacrifice, in the next couple of days so that we're ready to go on Thursday.
How was the pressure? You got hit 10 times today, sacked a couple more. How was the pressure affecting your ability to throw the ball how and where you want to?
That's just the nature of the game. I have to do a better job of getting the ball out quickly, understanding, where the pressure's coming from. And that's the looks that we've seen on film. And, we just didn't do a good job today of, getting the ball out quick. And that's on me. And that's where I'll watch the film and I'll get better at it.
Mechanically, it looks like you're having to fall away as you're throwing the ball a little bit more. Is that something you kind of have to learn to do in the NFL, or how uncomfortable is it?
It's just depending on the pass rush. If they get through the line and there's pressure, you have to do everything you can to get the ball out, whether that's completing it downfield, being smart with the ball, or throwing it away, and understanding that an incompletion is not as bad as a sack.
Do you feel like you guys have to play with desperation from here on?
I don't think there's a time for where desperation helps anyone. I think that's just up to us as an offense and us as a team to go out and execute and play the way we need to. And, obviously they're all important games in December and January. And this is where we want to be. And we just got to keep executing, and we have to get better.
Get past this real quick.
Especially in the second quarter, and being able to make those turnovers.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of causing.
That really
turnovers,
was
getting
a
us the ball
dumb
back,
question,
and we got to go.
right?
Execute. We got to go capitalize on those turnovers. And
That really
that,
was.
we got to walk away with points.
Not gonna
touchdowns,
lie.
And we had those opportunities. We got 2 of them today from them, and I think we only scored on 1 of them. Maybe I'd have to look at it, but defense did a good job of forcing those turnovers.
Justin, does it help playing a divisional opponent on a short week like this in terms of preparation?
Yeah, it can. You can look back at the first game and watch as much as you can of it. Obviously we have a healthier amount of respect for the Broncos, and we know what they're capable of, and obviously a very good team playing very well right now. So we got to watch as much film as we can, get our bodies back and keep attacking.
Any disappointment for you for your interception streak come to an end?
It is what it is. I always try and protect the ball and do my best to not put our team in harm's way. And, unfortunately got that one away from me.
Justin, how do you balance that, the interceptions versus wanting to make plays and make explosive plays as well? How do you balance that in your head, I guess?
You play quarterback without fear, and I'm going to take my shots. I'm going to throw the ball downfield, and I got to be smart about it and understand that maybe a throwaway is better in that situation. And you can't take the aggression out and the aggressive mentality of throwing the ball downfield, especially to one of your playmakers. But I got to do a better job there.
Do you feel like you're being aggressive enough in those situations?
Mm-hmm.
When you got an offense like they have and they start to get rolling, and the defense for you guys have been so good all year, do you feel a little extra motivation or strain to have to help them stop the bleeding? When
God,
they score
these
6
people.
consecutive drives, maybe you guys have to get out there and get points yourself and help the defense get back on track a little bit.
Yeah, well, we always talk about playing that complementary football, and there have been plenty of times this year where we haven't put up the points, and our defense has come out and they've caused the turnovers. They've come up with big stops, and they've played almost perfectly all year, and it's tough, but we got to do a better job of going out there as an offense and limiting the time that we put our defense out there and letting those guys rest and relax on the sideline, and we didn't do a good job of that today.
It's a good lad back. What do you think he adds back to the team?
Yeah, he's a very good playmaker. He's definitely one of those guys that you trust out there, and he goes and makes plays and understands the coverage, the leverage, how they're playing him, and he definitely makes plays when he's out there.
not every season is perfect. It's only happened once. Everybody has a game like this somewhere throughout the year. Do you have any thought process where you can say this just wasn't our day? You flush it and try to say that's the outlier and just kind of forget about it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you want to learn from it. You go through a game like this, and it's it's tough. You put all this work in throughout the week, and we got beat today. We got beat badly, and we have to do everything we can to learn from it and not let this one affect our next one. We understand that we've got a very good opponent coming here on Thursday, and we can't let this loss. We can't let a couple plays, some mistakes that were made affect our next game, because if we do, we're losing our focus. We're not dialed in, and that's on us to be able to respond. Understand that we didn't play the way we need to today. But we still got a lot of football ahead of us.
I mean, it just I can just tell you right now, like there were a couple of questions that I thought were like really ridiculous. Did you really think that you played aggressive? Like, who the hell honestly asked a question like that? Did he play aggressive enough? Like, Justin will tell you, yeah, I did. And it just didn't go the way that it should have. And at the same time, like the play scheme is built differently. That's why, and I know a lot of you, because I've seen it up into the comments when talking about Greg Roman's future. I would get Greg Roman out, because I don't want Justin Herbert yet again having his talents wasted once again, because he doesn't have the right offensive coordinator. Like, you guys could seriously imagine Justin Herbert, had it not gone the way that it did in his rookie season when he had Shane Steichen as his offensive coordinator. Like, I will give it to you this way. So to kind of show like what kind of player he is. Okay. Justin Herbert barely makes mistakes. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He has 16 touchdowns and 2 picks. He has been protecting the football a ton. And because of that, he now has 130 touchdowns and 44 picks. The hell does that tell you? And he has 20,000 passing yards. What do you think about that? Justin Herbert is arguably one of the most consistent quarterbacks. He's one of the most consistent quarterbacks in this league. And he barely turns the ball over. In his rookie season, he had 66 completion percentage with 4,300 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, and 10 picks under Shane Steichen. In the 2 years with Joe Lombardi in 21 and 22, he has a 65 to 68 completion percentage, about close to 5,000 passing yards. He had it in 21, where he had 38 touchdowns and 15 picks, 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Like, Justin Herbert barely turns the ball over. And then even in the 13 games he's had in 23 with Kellen Moore, he had 65% completion percentage, or over 30,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 picks before he got hurt. He is the most consistent pure passer in the NFL. So I don't understand some of those questions when it comes to like the interceptions. You do realize that this dude is a 4.2 biology major student at Oregon. Like, he is smart, super smart. So to kind of go through, because I did see a lot of guys, I did see a lot of new people up in here. Last chance, Bolt Up. Appreciate you for coming on by. 5th game. Oh, right down here. We could get Scatabo in the 3rd round. It's possible. It's possible that if Cam Scatabo is in there, and I am going to do a couple of draft pick previews just for the Chargers to kind of get an idea. Last chance. I feel y'all pain. This game kind of went how the Denver versus Ravens game went. You kept up for a while, but after a few 3-and-outs and the offense stalling, and boom, blowout. Bolt, I think he'll be gone by then. If he's there, when we make our first pick, I'd take him. Absolutely, I would. We shall see y'all next week. Denver got banged up bad, though, so good luck. But you know what, though? Denver's probably going to have more of a jump because now they're in the second spot in the AFC West. And they've already gone through their bye week. So they probably will be fine. They'll be up on fire. But last chance, I will have a collaborative video coming up soon with my good friend Ben over at Denver Sports Talk. We're going to do a collaborative video before the Thursday night game. So it's going to be fun. And we probably will also end up doing a live as well together. So I think we'll definitely be up and in there. Do a whole little AFC West roundtable collab of a play-by-play live stream. It'll be so much fun. So much fun. He said that was such a stupid question, Alan. I was laughing at that so much. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, why would you ask a really dumb question like that? The falling back when Justin throws. No, he was happy he threw the INT. Like, really? Come on, dude. I wouldn't be mad at that. What's the likelihood that Greg Roman is gone after one season? I mean, the chances are pretty damn good. The chances are pretty good. So, because honestly, I would want a more competent offensive coordinator who gets with the program to have a balance of both a very good run game and a pass game. Because our run game may be very efficient, but our pass game is literally in the bottom tier. That's what I want to adjust. So, yeah, Lad McConkey is an absolute beast. I think we should get as many interior O linemen in free agency, so we've got some experienced guys there. I'll tell you what, though. There's a center there in Indianapolis that I would not be mad that we end up picking up in the offseason. I think he'd be pretty damn good. I think he'd be very, very good. So, I'm totally down to, yeah, because I think we may end up spending our money, whether it be interior O-line for experiences. We need an interior D lineman to really stop up the run. And because I think we do have facilitators on defense to really stop the mid-pass game, but our passing defense hasn't been as great either. So we do have to fix that up as well. I've been following Cam Scatabo since Rio Linda High School. He is a Sacramento legend. He grew up 5 miles from me. Oh, hell yeah, Bolt. That's awesome. I love that, dude. I'll tell you what, though, because I did interview at Arizona State because I've interviewed CJ Fight. Check him out. He's going to be a very, very good interior D lineman for years. That kid's going to be a serious problem when it comes to the run game because he's a big-time run stuffer. So check him out. He's got a lot of promise to him. And I interviewed him when he was at Tatum, Texas. But good kid. But yeah, same with Cam Scatabo. Guy's awesome. And Herbert is the best pure passer in the NFL. Exactly. And like they said about Genty, the corner for the Eagles. Like here's the thing. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, dude, they are such good secondary pieces. Like they really are. But here's the other thing, though, too. We have some very good secondary pieces ourselves. Tarheeb Still, a 5th rounder, has 4 interceptions this year, and he's been very, very good when it comes to man-to-man coverages, and even when it comes to the zones. And same when it comes to Cam Hart, because those are 2 future corners that we can see really building well with this secondary under Jesse Minter. So there's a future for that. You are the most consistent passer I am, sir. Really? I know who that is on Dirty Money, man. I know who that is. A lot of those stats questions are coming from Popper. Oh, yeah, Daniel Popper. I know. For real, dude. For real. Daniel Popper, like that. And that's what's the funny thing is, like, because Jim Harbaugh always likes ignoring some of Popper's questions. It's hilarious. Jake, I look forward to my Broncos to play you guys Thursday. I'll be honest, I was hoping you guys would have won because you guys are going to be pissed off. We got some guys banged up today. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. You don't have to go in depth, but are we losing Thursday? Well, here's the thing, Sergio. I'm a glass half full guy. And the way that the Broncos are playing right now, they're playing with some serious fire. And winning against the Colts 31-13, because remember, there are 3 teams outside looking in that are still trying to get their playoff hopes. And we're 8-6, and those 3 teams are both 6-8. So there is still chances for those teams. So that's why I'm like, with Thursday, with as short of a week as it is, we cannot afford to end up losing against Denver. But I would not be surprised if that becomes that case, because that would really suck. And then they claim the second spot in the AFC West, and then here we are in the last spot of it that everybody's fighting for in the playoff spot at 7. Sorry, I'm just a sad person right now. Our defense is Swiss cheese now. Can we borrow some of yours? That's a Detroit Lions fan. Like, yeah, but I will tell you, though, that was a pretty competitive game against the Buffalo Bills for it to go the score the way that it did. And they've already scored up almost over 100 points in 2 weeks. Between that Rams loss and then between this win against the Lions, I was like, good God. It will be a fun game for sure, Jake. Ben is on cloud 9. When Dingo bolts up, that was a wild game. Bucs should have had a better record too. We almost beat the Chiefs. We could have went for 2, but didn't. That was a bad call. And the Ravens, the Bucs had 2 touchdowns robbed. Well, I'll tell you what, the Bucs played a very good game. I give him credit. Baker Mayfield, he's having himself a very good year. And especially with the offensive pieces that he has. I mean, the team ran all over us and the team just killed us in the air. So I give props. I give props to them for that. Respect to the Chargers. Bucs had a great game today, though. You Cargo bolt up. Appreciate you, man. Bills fan up and in here. Congrats to the Buffalo Bills today. What a win. I'm so happy about Still and Hart. Oh yeah, Cam Hart and Tarheeb Still, man, are such steals. They were such steals. And you know what's funny is because even when I look at Jaden Hicks that the Chiefs got, I would have liked to have had Jaden Hicks as well, because I thought the kid was pretty damn good at Washington State. The guy was an absolute ball hawk. But I'm happy with both these guys. Really, really am. I think even if we lose Thursday, we'll make the playoffs if we win our last 2 games. But that's the thing, though, Alan, is we're going to be in a position to where we have Denver for Thursday night, New England, and the Raiders. Do you honestly believe the Raiders want us in the playoffs? Do you really honestly think that? That would piss us off so much. We just need 2 wins. 10-7 gets us in the playoffs. We will beat the Patriots and the Raiders. And that's my hope, is if we end up at 10-7, and you know what? I'll be fine with that. I've said it when the season started that I feel like that this team is capable of going 10-7. And you know what? Every single win that we have is always kudos to Adam Rank, because we believe in miracles. We do. So I honestly do believe the Chargers are going to take this one pretty hard. They're pissed. And that's the thing too, Alan. We don't want to end up having to depend on us winning the last 2 games. I mean, for real. We don't want to be dependent on having the last 2 games that we have to beat. And you do have to realize the last time we played New England, we won 9-6. It was a horrible game. We didn't play our best in that one. And that was in New England. So, and usually we don't even have a good record against the Patriots. And I think a lot of that, you can say kudos to Tom Brady for that, because of how many times the Chargers have played the Patriots and they can't beat them. So that's one of the hard parts. And Justin Herbert Like, I don't know what it is, but sometimes he has a hard time against New England. That's why I can't take every single one of those games very lightly. It's a week-to-week process. I think there was a bit of the contract with JC Jackson that I think we are paying, but I think we should be done with that at some point. We should be done with JC Jackson's contract from the looks of it. Because it's just only the remainder, because we let him go and then the Patriots bring him back and then they let him go and I ain't seen him play since. So I think we're only paying the last amount of it, and I think we should be done with it for there. But yeah, tough loss, Charger fans. It really, really is a tough loss. And and sometimes, I mean, this is kind of the gritty spot. This is kind of the gritty spot of, yeah, this was what it was. When we got the news on JC Jackson, like, yeah, I was actually more excited about Khalil Mack than I was of JC Jackson, to be honest with you. And the reason of it is because I have a very good friend of mine that was close with the Patriots that he told me, you guys signing JC Jackson, good luck with that, because he sucks at man-to-man coverages, and all he is he's a zone cover corner. That's why a lot of his interceptions, they had corners that were very good at man-to-man, and he was a guy that was great at the zone, so that's why it was easier for him to get the interceptions, because of the way that defensive scheme was played for New England. So, and he told me, he's like, dude, if you try to play a man-to-man coverage, he's not going to perform well. He's not. And we found that out the hard way. So after the end of all this, guys, this was a tough loss. And at the same time, has us question whether or not this team is capable. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think we're capable to get to the playoffs with Jim Harbaugh because we have a culture-setting coach. I think we're capable of winning a playoff game. But I do not believe that we are Super Bowl contenders because that's a different beast. I don't believe that we are on the same pages as Buffalo, Philadelphia, Detroit, Kansas City, like all those teams. I don't believe that we are there right now, but we will get there. We just have to trust. And as much as this one stings tonight, let's use this fuel for us to get a win big time against the Denver Broncos. Because we want to make things interesting. Because right now, as far as with what we see it, Baltimore comes away with the win. They're 9-5. And we will get there. We will get there. But we are good enough to win a playoff game, and we're good enough to be in the playoffs. So keep your heads high, Charger fans. Understand this is an entire project and process. We haven't seen with what Joe Ortiz is capable of doing, but we have seen what Tom Telesco has done. Telesco is very good at spotting talent, but has struggles when it comes to depth pieces. That's what Joe Ortiz is all about. And he has an eye for talent and he has an eye for depth. Because you got to think, this draft class, with Joe already leading the league in Pro Bowl votes at right tackle right now, he's a beast. We have Junior Colson, who's a very good facilitator at linebacker. And hopefully when he's fully healthy and he's out there up onto the field, we will see a lot more of that too. Ladd McConkey is having such an amazing year over guys like Malik Neighbors. And even with like close to Brian Thomas and like a bunch of those first-round receivers. This was a second-round pick. And what a steal. Then We have Cam Hart and Tarheeb Still, where Tarheeb Still has 4 interceptions this season as a rookie, and he's playing great on both man and zone. So our future's bright. Our future is beyond bright. Keep your heads up and trust the processes of what Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz are about to do. But I am at the point where I'm done with Greg Roman. I hope that we don't have him back because we need a much more competent offensive coordinator who gets with the program. I mean, the funny thing of it is that the Baltimore Ravens, they're a run-first pass offense, but Todd Monken made him a better passing offense. Think about that. Greg Roman, it's way past him. And I think Jim Harbaugh's kind of fed up with it. It's not just solely having to depend on the run game, which you do have to have a run game more to dominate the time of possession and more to dominate getting first downs. But you also still have to let that thing rip in the air. And we don't have the offensive talent right now. Like Quentin Johnston made such an improvement this year. Ladd McConkey is badass of a rookie for a second rounder. And here's the thing. I'm not wasting my time on DJ Chark. I felt like that was a waste this season because he has been hurt more than he's actually played. So why are we wasting our time? Other thing is, I would like to have I would like to at some point maybe have Josh Palmer back only because he is a go up and get it receiver. And that is important to have. Mark Hooker, bolt up. Yeah, this was horrible. Gus has been driving a little yellow bus all year. And that's the thing about it is that like Gus Edwards is more of a power back. He's not dynamic of speedy, which is why that I think, I understand when you want to pack a punch and then you have J.K. Dobbins as a guy who's got speed and who's got cuts. I get that. But no, we gave DJ Chark, I think we gave him a 1-year deal. I think we gave Chark a 1-year deal. We didn't spend all that on DJ Chark. And thank God that we didn't. Because that would have been ridiculous. So, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So we just need more firepower. And I think that is what's holding us back a bit. We have the potential. We just don't have the firepower yet. But we're building up to there. So I appreciate everybody for being here on this live stream and getting up on here, no matter how horrific that the games may be or how amazing our performances may look like in future games. But you know what? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. No matter what. And wouldn't it be mad if we extended Molden? And you know what? Elijah Molden deserves an extension. There's guys that should be extended, I think. Poona Ford should be. Tier Tart is also very good as a serviceable D lineman. Also, Elijah Molden. And I also do think Christian Fulton should be too. Fulton for sure deserves an extension because I think that we do have exactly those guys to do so. As far as Asante Samuel Jr. goes, I hope we keep him because I don't want to give up on a project that I haven't seen flourish yet. That's my hope. I'll have a video later on kind of breaking down our roster, guys who I would want to see walk and guys that I want to see come back and be extended. And then we'll also have free agent targets, draft predictions as well. So it'd be great. I honestly think it would be awesome because it would make a lot more sense, the type of team that Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz is going to put together on this roster. So I will make sure that I will have that for you guys. But I appreciate everybody for coming up on here, guys. We've had 124 views altogether, 12 likes, guys, out of the 124. Shout this out to any and every Chargers fan that's out there that needs to know about Chargers Syndicate, guys. Wipe them feet, as my boy Graf always says. Bearded Villain, Bolt Up, appreciate you for coming on by. Yeah, we got the snot kicked out of us today. We did. Appreciate all of the likes, guys. Catch me on AFC West Roundtable every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Roundtable Sports, guys. We're going to be talking a lot more about that. We will have a collaborative video with my good friend Ben of Denver Sports Talk, discussing about the preview of the second go-around against the Broncos, and then we'll probably have a play-by-play reactionary live stream with the both of us, as well as a collaborative thing with both of us. So that'd be great. So keep up to speed, keep up to date on it, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, share it out with your friends, family, coworkers, and every Charger fan out there, far and wide, coast to coast, even internationally, who needs to know about Charger Syndicate. Also, guys, if you want your hands on one of these customizable helmets, we are sponsored by Green Grid Iron. Definitely check it out, guys. GreenGridIron.com. And before you check out, use promo code LACSYN. That's LACSYN. Okay, live customizable helmets, actual life-shaped ones, and also memorable collectible little mini helmets as well for you guys. So definitely check it out at greengridiron.com with the promo code LACSYN when you guys use it at checkout for your guys' discount. Appreciate everybody for coming on by. We'll see you guys on the next live stream and the next few videos ahead of us here on Charger Syndicate. Keep your heads up and always remember to bolt up for our boys for these last 3 games this season.